Hello, everyone. Today we will discuss about the application development based on one of the example. I would say authentication, login process. Okay, so you already did this. We download the Xcode, and we're working on Swift UI. So we do and on the project, so we choose app to develop from there. In order to develop on applications, then we need to define the application purpose and the future, what we are going to do. Today's app development, we aimed to login process on any type of applications. We'll add some feature to it so that we end up having a very useful login app. And then we need to design the user interface. And then navigation flow needs to be defined. For today's authentication, auth. There are three ways that we can consider. Credentials, user credential may be hard-coded. That's what we are going to do today. Of course, we do SwiftUI. And we can extend today even further for two-factor authentications. One of very useful two-factor authentication is to consider users' camera photo. Okay, that's what we are going to do. So the techniques that you may gain for today's lecture is not only SwiftUI-based app application, but also the way that we can enable the cameras, okay? And also we can save the camera images into the photo albums, or we can even extend it to save as a file in the Files app. On iPhone, there is a Files app, right? So that could be done. A little more advanced authentication is to use credentials that may be stored in a local database, local smartphone apps. This will be done the next session. And then in the following session, we will do, we save user credentials on a cloud server, for example. And then we have to develop the middleware there. And through the middleware, we can download the credentials data in JSON formats. Okay. There's a whole something about credential databases. up to this, right? Even we can extend further, which is role-based authentications. Not only users login and password pairs, but also we can think of role-based. So one user may have multiple different roles. So without or with the explicit or implicit identification of a user role, your authentication may behave differently. Okay, so this is a little more advanced features. We're not going this far, so we'll do up to two-factor authentications. We build the UI. We can use the storyboard or SwiftUI, but in this class, we're going to use SwiftUI. So first thing, if we create a project called auth-log2 single app, then this can be generated automatically. So what it does is that your app starts from this, because we have a main here, and then once coming into this, then it activates login view. That is available here, right? So this is entry points. When it comes to this, as it is specified here, it goes to a login view. Actually, you can, instead of this login view, you can your code on this content view. It is up to you. You can create a new file, or you can simply override something here. If it is the case, then here instead of a login view, you need to have a content view, right? And in the login view, here so navigation view. So it goes to what we have a navigation view. Having this, then not only one view, we may have another view to navigate from here to there. There's a navigation view if we have this. So this is a beginning and ending somewhere here, right? Here, right? So it goes to home view. This is the first view, and then next view is a home view. In the first view, we have text field, secure field, and button. So we have one text field, and secure field is something when you type, then it doesn't show the key that you enter, but it displays stars. For example, for the password entries, then it should appear not showing user type. And then third row, we have buttons. Because this is a V stack, this is first row and second row and third and fourth rows. For each row you have a login, and then text field, and then secure field. Text field and secure field, we need to get the data. So we have a username and password, and this username and password needs to be declared as a state. Therefore, data can be transmitted, shared, and also if data is updated, then this control needs to be accordingly updated. What that means here, If this is updated, then here authenticate user. There is a this is a function. In the button, there is an action, and this is another function. This function, if you go to next slide, yeah, authenticate user. This function internally, this is hard coded, right? This function hard coded login name and password. This login name and password needs to be checked with the username and password. This username and password is given, is passed from a previous view. This right hand side is here local. Remember the username and password? That is here, username and password. If this username and password is updated, then accordingly, the function that has these state data states, or we can say in this application development, we call that model. So model-based action becomes possible. Okay, if this is updated and click this login, without having to passing this data, because that already had that, so it comes in here and comes in there and compare with this local values, which is in black here, and then green color variables coming from the previous. If they are matched, we can say true, otherwise false, otherwise alert. Okay, and then this is authentication done. Okay, so we have authentication done. Here show alert. This is something it is not matched. And then from here there is all the first view. And then in this, if this is done, and then we go to home view, which is here. Okay, in the next view, next page on your iPhone, it says welcome to home screen. And then this is a vertical stack to text, so you are successfully logged in. So 2 rows in the second page. Like this. If you enter admin and password 123, click this and it goes to next. This is a home view. This is a login view. Because you said we already had navigation view, and then we have a navigation title, login authentication, and full screen cover, and then home view, right? So it goes to this home view. Okay, so this is the first we will do this, and then we may want to a little more, not only navigating forward, we want to coming backward, returning like this. So we can put another button here. If this button is clicked, and go back to returning to the original login view. How can we make it? We can extend a little further, right? So in order to do that, then this is a given. We already know this, right? In the home view, this is a login view that we already looked at. In the home view, this is a second view. There are another binding variable is authenticated. If it is authenticated, we can tell whether it is authenticated or not. And we already had two text, and then we created a button. In the button, if authenticated is false, we can say is authenticated is false. We simply, this is not a comparison. This is, we forced to make it false. Okay, and then if this is changed, then text field here, log out, and this will go back. There's a button called logout. If we say logout, then it'll come back here. It says login bar back button, login bar back. This is a back. We need to go back. Okay, so that is true. So we need to go back. Like in the login view, we have here, it goes to, from the login view, it goes to home view, and then from home view, it goes back. Okay? And this whole thing can be done in formal coding. We call that MVC. M for model, V for view, and C for control. MVC models. What that means here is, in our codings here in this navigation, this actually, this is a view. And then if there is some control, then you can split that control in another file. And if there is a data, then you can make another file as data, only for the data. So make it more formal way, okay? So that you have some files for models, some files for control, some files for views. The example for that here, so I explained that here, right? MVC patterns, there's a model view control pattern. There's a model view model patterns, better organization. We have a model, view model, and view, and application entry points. So this is a very advanced pattern that iPhone apps developments. So what happens here? We make a model. If it is user login authentication program, then we can make a model here. One the separate file name called user. That is a model. And then view, so authentication view model. There we the user data model. Okay, model is the data, right? That user model now materialized. The previous we showed the structure only. Here materialized. So user admin is admin, username is admin, password is password 123, and then authentication function there and logout there. This is all something about the model view. And login view, this is more like real view. Okay, here view, so that we have view stack. Well, the outer container is navigation view, so that we have it here. and this is the internal. When everything here, first view is done, then it goes to next view, which is a home view. And this is the same as before, right? And then we have a home view. Again, this is something of the view. And this is entry. Okay? I believe this is it. So let's try before we go to real two-factor authentications a little further. With the camera photos. Remember, this is capture from my real iPhone device, and then login name and password, and then it asks us to use the camera to take a photo and save that photo, and then we can log in. If this is fine, this image is fine, this is the second factor, this is the first factor. If they are all fine, then it goes to the conclusion of that authentication. This will come a little later, and we'll go for this. Okay, so let's try. First trial here. Discard. Push this a little aside, and let me open the project from Xcode, and we call app. And then we here product name. Let me make this same as what we have here. Login auth 2 app. Okay. Can say login auth 2 app. And then SwiftUI language is Swift. And next, we need to save it to class 25. Okay. Create. All right. This is what we have. So we have here, this is a content view. And previously we made the here login view separately. We could do that, or we can simply, instead of creating another login view, I'm going to use this content view, like here. We could do that. Okay. If we don't use this, then we don't need this, right? As we covered in this course material, we can create. So login. This outer, this is a project, this is the package. You can click on the right button, then there is add a new file from templates. So we can say SwiftUI, and next we say login. Okay, and create. So we have a login here. Then we need to come back here. I want to put that in login. Okay. And then in the login, I am going to, we don't really need, we need to use SwiftUI. And then we can say struct login view and body. Oops. Why? I want to redo because struct view I want to change, yeah. And then I want to make a vstack. In the vstack, I want to this, if I get that, I want to put say text login, and then font, headline, or large title, and then we can make a bold. We don't need the true here. So that's the first row. In the second row, I would put here a text field, and then we can say username, and then text equal. I want to, when user enter the value, I want to take it as a variable username. In order to get that, then I need to have here state, and then private variable. Very smart. So I take it as is, and then text field style and round style. I want to take it as is, and then another one maybe padding, and then horizontal. That's nice. And next one is secure field rather than another text field. I would say secure field text. Text is not this, but we need to put here dash password. Then we need to declare here password. In the action, I need to put here some authentication function. This is a function name. If I use that, then I need to have that authentication function defined. So I want to, that is a typical function name. So I want to make it here. That is a private function. And then here, cannot find is authenticated scope. Yeah, we'll take care of that and show a lot also, all of these. No worry at this time, right? So we need to do further. This is the function called authenticating scope. And then we have here text login, foreground, white, and background. the color. Set the background and color blue, fine, and padding, fine. Okay, and this is from here there. Authenticate. No, this should be, this is not. So we need to, this there, and when I click this, there should be inside that. Okay, so when I click this, okay. This is authenticate, so we need to put here authenticate user. So that means this. So this part is done. Okay. And then button, we put there alert and is a presence. Is presented, and then we can say, and then show alert. That show alert is needs to be declared here. Private, here is authenticated. That already picked up from here is authenticated because it is say there. And then another one here, state private variable, and then show alert, that is boolean, initially false. Okay, so show alert. Yeah, we need to put here. Now we can say alert. Title, and then title is text. You can say authentication. And the message is another alert messages. And dismiss button is default, and then text OK. Then this alert message needs to be declared here. So alert message initially empty. All of a sudden all the messages, all the errors disappears, right? So let's try how it works. So we open this. here. Takes time. Okay. So here we have admin. I'll change this. Admin, and this is password 1, 2, 3, and login button. Yeah, only this much. We don't have any yet the navigate to the next page, right? So we need to work on that a little more, and I want to change this also a little more. Okay, so what we will do here, the button, rather than font headlines, I want to make a frame, and then max width should be dot infinity. Okay, as much as we can put, and then background color and foreground color, and the corner radius. Radius is 5, whatever we want, maybe 8. Okay, then it'll be a little better. Oh, like this, because this is a max. Okay, so that's fine, right? Infinity, and we can put here this padding is horizontal. Let's put not much different. And I want to change this to maybe this is uppercase A, because smaller cases. So by default it is. Because if it is a text field, then automatically the first initial uppercase. And then here I want to put this all in navigation view. So what I will do here, when I click this, then everything from here there, right? So make sure that is from there, and then we can say white doesn't show, like this. Navigation, open navigation. Okay, I want to type it if it doesn't show. Then we can say navigate, navigation view, and hit enter, and then everything here that should be outside. So I want to copy it and back here, put this so that everything can be inside, not automatically inside. I'm not sure how I can make this inside. Okay, So highlight and hit tab button, then everything goes inside. So when I double click this, then it covers everything from there, right? Then I think here, this is this tag, right? After this tag, we need to put here navigation title, and I would say that is login authentication. Login authentication. And next one here, I want to put their full screen cover and is presented, and then we can call here if it is authenticated, then we can say we don't need this, then we go to home view or next view. I would say next view. Okay. And then we need to declare next view outside this. So we can say struct, and oh, we already had it here. Next view. And then we can say text, we need to make it vertical, right? This tag. I want to copy this inside here. Welcome. And then make it font. I would say simply title. And next one is padding. And then the next row, I would put here text. Another one, we can say you have successfully logged in, and make another padding. Okay. So we know where it goes, right? After we log in, it goes to, if we click the button, login button, then it goes to this next view. So here, emulate. Admin, password 123, and login. Goes to next. It says welcome. You are successfully logged in. Okay. Now, this is one way, right? So I want to make another button here to go back. Okay. So how can you make it? Then you need to make another here button. Next one is another button. Button action. I would say is authenticated, right? Action is I want to make it false. So once it is authenticated, then I need to reset it. It's authenticated. Then is authenticated needs to be, let's see, is authenticated. is authenticated. I already have that. Is authenticated, and this, okay. All right. And then we have text. And now it's a logout. And again, I want to put something others like this. All of those. Cannot find the is authenticated. Is authenticated false. Yeah. Then what happens is that this is here a local state, so we need to bring it back here. So it should be bound to binding authenticate is bool, so that it is bind to the previous view. And then here in the next view, not only that, because it should be passed to next, so that we can say is authenticated. That is that variable. So is authenticated. Then it goes to the next view. It receives that this next view, this variable used here is bound to the previous ones. And then it is sent to this takes one definition of here. This one to take one parameter, right? That is given when that class is called. That class is invoked to create. This is a variable name. This is a real variable. This is the identifier of that variable, because we say here. Okay. And then if you run this, and I would say admin and password. Login and welcome. You have successfully logged in. When I click this, I think I didn't do one. You should go back, right? Navigate back. Did I have that? I didn't have that, right? I didn't have it here. But it worked. I need to put here navigation bar back button true. I need to do that. Although we didn't have this, it worked anyway. So we have admin and 1, 2, 3. Login next, and then click this, then you come back. Okay, when I put another here, login, then it says authentication invalid user or password. What that means, that is alert. So alert comes here. Remember here, it says alert, so we need to show alert. and its title is authentications, and then invalid username or password. That's alert messages, right? This is generated from by having these ones. So this is alert message invalid username password that comes here, and then finally OK button. So this alert itself has first row is title, second row is message, third row is another OK button. That's what it is. If this, and then we can do admin only, and then it goes to next and come back. Okay. Okay, I'd like to stress about the formal coding in MVC. M for model, V for view, and C for control. Ideally, each one of these can be in a separate file, or could be stayed in not necessarily strictly divided among those three components. So maybe mixed somewhere in a smaller number of files. In any case, the iPhone apps, not only iPhone apps, Android apps, same thing. There is a view components. So there's a UI, user interface views. And some of the models, it could include data models. Over the model and view, there is a control mechanisms. So this control mechanism may update data in this data model. Then because the state of data is modified so that it can notify the control. Accordingly, control may update the user view. That's what we looked at, right? This automatic is a data-driven view modifications, view activations. And in the view, then user may be able to see the views. There is the user interface, for example, a button. So user can click the button, or if there is a text field, then user enter the data in the text field. So that is a user action. User action goes to control mechanism, and if according to user action, if that affects the data updates, then it goes to the data updates. Because the data is updated, then it modify the control mechanism to update the user interface views. Okay, so that is like from here all the way there, and come back to notification and update the view. Because of this update to view, then user reaction may be again involved. Because of that user reaction, data may be updated. If the state of data is modified, then automatically it notifies the control mechanism, and accordingly that updates the user views. So this is sort of very handy and automatic data-driven the event and action mechanisms, event and view update mechanisms. Okay, so so we have model. This is simply a data itself. This is that model is more. It contains the task, as it says, and then this is a view. This is entry points, right? View has some of the control, and also view model here also may include some of the control mechanisms. So control mechanisms actually comes from the here entry points, but it some of the actions, some of the controls may be available in the view and view models. So based upon this MVC pattern, the code that we looked at so far maybe the reorganized in this way. Okay, so I want you to look at that. Okay, now two-factor authentications. There are many mechanisms that we can use the two-factor, but in this module we'll look at the camera movement. Camera photo needs to be taken, and based upon the camera picture, we assume we can do even further more intelligent capabilities included in our app. For example, if this is the photo that I shot and I save the photo, actually I don't ask you to do so many other complexities here, but I wanted to save it in a your iPhone, the photo album. That's maybe easier, but actually we can do even more. We can save the photo in a files. There's a files folder in your iPhone device. Why we want to save it in a files rather than in an album? Then we can name the file. So if we have several different the users to come in, then we can also we can save a photo and compare the current login. So we can match. We can try to match if the photo that currently taken from your iPhone and also photo already stored in your device, if they are matched, then that is authentications, right? That's comes with a little more the codings, and eventually it'll be the AI or machine learning involved capabilities. So we don't go that far. Okay. Anyway, we simply save it in the photo. If it is saved well, then we can say, oh, this is done, ready. If it is not, then we cannot log in. If it is, then we can log in. Let's say we have three buttons here. Then we don't really, without having to check these two login buttons, we have to disable the button to be clickable, right? So we start from here. If photo is taken, we shot it. Initially, start from here. Username and password. Then we can simply, these two things are not provided, then we don't, all of these buttons are disabled. Only we enable the first one. If these two are entered, then camera is starting moving, and then we take a shot. If it is the captured, if the camera photo is captured, then we save photo in the camera photo album. If it is saved, then finally we enable this button for user to click. Okay, that's one way that we can control users' interactions. Otherwise, the user may click here, this, and that, even if something is not ready, right? So that's what we will do. Okay, two factors. Not only login and password, but also something else. Something else today, what we will do is iPhone device. So we want to use a camera. In order to use a camera, then you need to set this in your property info. In your project, if you on the left side, navigation panel, on top there is a project name. If you click this, then there you may be able to see some of the menus. One of them is called info, right? This is a info P list, property list. So there's a table item list. Anywhere in the item list, if there is a plus sign, click that plus sign, and then you can add this. Privacy, camera usage description, and then you can, this is some of the reminder to the device holder. So your app wants to let the user know that, hey, I am going to use your camera. So if you say allow, then the camera is allowed. Okay, that type of things. This is was not really the case in I would say 10 years ago. 10 years ago, your app can do anything once it is installed in your device. App can do anything internally it is designed, which could be a vulnerable or could be a threat to your phone devices, right? So gradually, both Apple and Android include more and more some restrictions, some of the choices that user may or may not accept, and also some of the sensors, built-in sensors. Camera is one of the built-in sensors, right? Or GPS, all those things. Or, for example, file or cameras, whatever. The sensors built in. If you want to use, if your app wants to use any part of the sensor already, even if it is provided, but by the regulation, your app needs to notify to the user. So user has some right to accept or not. Okay, that is this. And we need to make a view model, camera view models. That's actually this is a given in the coding list. I think this, we simply use it, right? So we include this in this file. It checks permissions. It has a configuration or photo captures, and then photo output. Some of those may be by the way, this file should be a subclass of this, okay? AV, audio, video, capture, photo, capture delegates. Delete, I think it's a delegate, D-E-L-E-G. Oh, we'll see this. The method is there, and save photos, all of those. So look at this. Yeah, it should be delegates. AV capture photo capture delegates. This is a camera modules. It includes, it imports SwiftUI, AV foundations and photos. So NS objects and observable object. These are all superclass to this camera view models. Okay. Actually, this is given. We don't really care much about this. We simply use this. So some of the variables that we need to use, for example, is taken, capture the images, session output preview layer. Depending upon your code in real applications, you can add more and more. So some of these that we use, if a photo is taken, then maybe then we can turn the next button to be ready. Okay. And then there is the init function and check permission function also there. And the configuration sessions. And then start sessions. Stop session, so we can start and stop the cameras. And the capture photo. See here, if here's the escape, completion escape, the keyword at escaping, then what it does is that this completion although capture photo, capturing photo is not really 1 millisecond. Capturing photo may take time, even sometimes longer. Okay, in this case, camera is internal, so it doesn't last really long. But what if we needs to connect the cloud server and wait until the JSON data comes in? Okay, that made the worst, longest situation. To handle all of this, there's some, it's not really synchronous mechanism, because hardware involves, because network involves. In nature, there's sometimes always a mismatch. I would say asynchronous. To handle that asynchronous, if we do not have this, some of the variables and escapings, then after I call this, the very next statements, it affects that, because the data is not really ready. But next statements wants to use that data. But if that data is not ready, then your program may be in trouble, right? So in order to handle that, in order to handle asynchronous mechanisms, then we have some, we usually call that completion. You can call this a different name, but completion is very common. And this completion, that is escaping. In other words, we don't really go to the very next, we don't really go to the next statements. When the other caller function calls this, one statement calls this, and then there is another statement. That statement uses some of the values, in this case, images, to handle. Immediately after this, we evaluate this function, and immediately next statements. But in the next statements, wants to use some of the data that's supposed to bring for example, images or JSON data. But there is some asynchronous. Because of that, your app may crash, right? So we have here, when capture really complete, then we say completion, that image. So image is completed, that type of things. Okay. And then photo capture image completion, that's the same as that. And then photo output, here we have output. This is a local variable, this is a caller variable. So caller, when caller called, this is auto output. We simply send the arguments, first arguments comes here. And then did finish processing photo, then this is caller, use this variable, this is an argument name, this is a parameter name, this photo locally used here. In this local, so this photo is that photo, right? This is a local variable. The very same, the denotation of this variable may be called differently in the perspectives of a caller function. Caller function use this, so we call this argument. This is a parameter. Both are in this type. But anyway, so file data representations and data comes. In this case, if there is no data, then unable to create UI images. We check that first, and then we dispatch the queue main asynchronous. Whatever the data that's taken, of course, that is the asynchronous data. That image, we send it to capture the image, and we turn, hey, the image is taken. So this is some of the indicator. Okay. So this capture the images, that probably declared already somewhere. Yeah, capture the image. There's a variable. When we say published, then literally as it means, there is another caller functions that wants to use this capture images and is taken. Then we need to publish these variables, right? So we can see that later. Get previews and save photos. Now we need to save this, right? And see if there is no images. We can say that. If it is images, then we can save it. Here, completion handler, success and errors in dispatch queue main asynchronous and completion success. So if it is the case, then we can say, hey, success. And then if it is a success in the caller function, when we call save, then if it is marked success, like here, then we can now further login button needs to be considered. So as I give here annotations, some of the explanations, the escape escaping attribute explicitly indicates that the closure completion in this case may be executed after the function finishes. Okay, so we need to wait until that function is completely finished, and then we can say, hey, complete. So that is essential for asynchronous operations, like photo libraries, okay, like internet access, like many other cases. I mean, two or more physical devices needs to be interoperated, then always the asynchronous mechanism needs to be considered. In that case, we use escaping. So, as I said, the escaping closure, we call that completion handlers. Login process only occurs after the image has successfully saved. Let's say if this is our business logic, then we will do that. If it is the case, then we use escaping and completion handlings. And then login views, then we do camera, then camera previews. Well, actually, camera needs to be ready, right? When we'll enter login and password, camera needs to be turned on. Therefore, we see we can click the buttons when the camera is on. So this camera view takes camera view models. This is an objects in this type. And images, if we click the shot button, then still image needs to be saved. And as I said, enabling and disabling a view like buttons. There's several buttons on the left to right. So as the event progressed, button can be enabled in certain order. Therefore, user may not jump into or skip any procedures. Then your app maybe crashes. And another thing that I think this is not. That comes here next. And then in the UI, on top, text field and secure field. And then buttons, we have multiple buttons, right? Button has a function. As we looked at, the simple logins, the function, if a function parameters is needed, then a function parameter is needed, then we need to put here function, right? Function names, the parameter names. If no parameter is needed, we simply use the function name only. Name only, no open and close parentheses. Function actively by a button, then we have a shot button and save button, login button, and reshot buttons, and more. But we'll do some of this today. And therefore, some of this name button should be disabled. So inside this parenthesis, we can put some conditions. Well, in certain condition, while that condition is satisfied, then this is disabled. By adding condition as an argument, view can be disabled, right? So some Boolean conditions needs to be. A condition is Boolean, right? Anyway. So this is an example of the code login view. Then username and password is authenticated that we looked at previously. Show alert and alert message. This whole thing done we already. Something I did here, allow the login in easy shot, and then the camera models. That should be that object needs to be declared and capture the images. Initially nil, and when your photo is taken, then that comes into this. And then another variables, Boolean variables, is camera enabled. If username is not empty, password is not empty, then it returns true. Whatever the return of this, whatever the logic comparison of this. If it is false, and it return false. If this is true, then return true. And in the view, we say two-factor authentications in one spacer and text field and secure field for password. And then this is the things, camera previews, right? This is cameras and then the button, list of buttons. So actually, in your the view of your iPhones, then there is a text field, so login name and password, and then there is a some of the, this is for cameras and buttons, maybe there, right? So yeah, so this camera previews, frame width 150 and height 190. So this is a camera, the width, and this is height, right? This is 190, and this is 150. So camera view takes a camera view models, and if a camera model is taken, then image is nothing but capture the images. That image needs to be displayed here. And the buttons below. First button is a shot. That's this button. Remember, button as action, and then display within this curly braces. Within parentheses, that is an action. Within curly braces, that is what we want to display. Okay, that I explained here. So button, parentheses, action, colon, some of the action, the function to act, depending upon the parameter of these functions. Sometimes function name only, sometimes real like this. Function name only, or function with the parentheses. And after this, within these curly braces, we what this text that is what you can see for this button. Okay, so you can put here click or whatever that you want to say in the text. So what it is here, see here, parentheses and parentheses. Inside this is a function. Okay, this is itself is not just a function, but again another code block here. In the code block, this object calls capture photo. This is the method, but this capture photo does not take any parameter, so simply that. That also has the curly brace here, Okay, so within this action components, we have a camera function, and when that camera is done, then we say, hey, the camera is shot. So we say is shot to true, which means camera is, the photo is shot. And then in the image goes to that captured image by these capturings. So this, inside this, from here, there is an action. In that action, so 2 steps. The first step is to activate that method, and second one is turn that Boolean value to true. Therefore, because this is true, the next button may be enabled. Okay, this button is disabled as far as is camera enabled. Okay, if it is not, then we do this. Is camera enabled? That's camera is enabled. Camera returns if username and password, one of these is empty, then this is still false, right? So, and then another button, it says a save photo. Then we use save photo. And another button, login, that we did in the last time, right? I mean the previous apps. And we did that authentication users and camera previews. This is given to you, so you simply copy and paste there. And then view. This is that we did the last time, in the previous app. And this is another the class, another structure called view. In your device, wants to use a soft keyboard, right? There is no hard keyboard, soft keyboard. You have your the cell phone monitor, cell phone screen. If you click text field, then the soft keyboard covers part of your screen, right? And at some points you want to remove that soft keyboard, unless otherwise soft keyboard may stay there. Then it hides your main view layout. Therefore, you want to hide the keyboard. Then you can use this hide keyboard. Hide keyboard means keyboard will be disappeared. Okay. Otherwise, some cases keyboard stay there longer or forever. Okay. So, without further ado, we will do hands-on app. So, in class, we did this, what we did the last time. I think we did this, right? So this is what we did. I want to copy camera view models. I already had camera view models in another app, so I want to copy and paste. Let's see, copy and paste here. Let's see if I can paste. Oh, camera view models. pasted. So this whole thing, check permissions, configurations, and start session, stop session, capture data, and photo outputs, and get preview layers, and save photo. It's there. Okay. Okay. The other one is if I want to save it in a file, then we can use that. Okay. So that is there. By the way, we have to check. We have to put here info. Let's see what we want to do. We want to here. So it should be private camera usage descriptions. So anywhere here, don't click. Move your mouse over. Then there is a plus button. Click that. And then there is a privacy and camera. Privacy, camera usage description. Click that. And on here, value, double click. Then you can say whatever. Please let me use your camera. You make notes, and this is some of the notification statements. Hit enter. So camera views, content view, we don't use this, right? So we can simply delete, but leave it there. Login, that this is an entry point. This is a login. So in the login, then I want to add here say at state and the variable allow the login and boolean initially false and another state variable is short, that is also boolean and then false. And also we have another variable is camera enabled, that is a boolean. No, this is sometimes this guy. Oh. Okay, so we'll do return, and if username is empty and password is not empty, okay, then it returns true, otherwise false. Okay. Here we can change this to, for example, two-factor authentication. Username and that. And before we have this, the buttons, a list of buttons, then we need to make a camera preview in this tag. So we can put that there here. So camera previews, camera preview is not ready. So we need to copy that camera preview. I want to give it to you. So bottom of somewhere. So we have a next view, and here I want to put the camera preview functions. So it enables to preview your cameras. Camera view model. That I think that needs to be that should be defined, right? Somewhere here. Say state objects, camera view model. Oh, this is very nice. Camera view models, camera view. We simply open and close, and we want to assign this initial value, and then state private variable capture the images. UI initially nil because nothing, so we initialize it, right? This is capturing images. No. Okay. So where are we? So all error disappeared, right? And then here in button, I want to reorganize that buttons. So I want to have here H stack. So everything should be inside that H stack. Right now only the login button previously, right? So I want to make this here. Okay, so login is at the end. First I want to do shot button. So here I want to have shot button. If it is a shot, and initially that is disabled, after shot I want to make for example photo save. So photo save buttons. Okay. So there's no error. Let's see if there is an error. So iPhone 16 Pro, and I want to emulate it. Oh, built successfully. Okay, so there is a username, password, And then this camera is only available when um, my phone device is available. Right now, my phone device is not available, right? For this, I want to make here after this login. I want to make a spacer. So after this login button, make a spacer. So let's try to see more. Make it smaller, body. And then this is okay, bottom here. Login. How do I change that login button? It's a little bit awkward. So I want to change this login button. And okay. So what happens here is initially all the buttons are not clickable, right? So when I do this, and we have admin, right? Admin and password 1, 2, 3. Then it turned to shot, right? Even if I click this, because there is no camera on this iPhone emulator does not have a camera. There's no cameras, right? So if I click this, then there is some error comes in, right? So what I will do, I will migrate, deploy this into my John's iPhone. I already migrated it. And in that, the version of my app running on my cell phone, a little bit advanced. So I'm going to show all of those features. For example, a feature that you can see from the iPhone photo album that comes with this, and then and also I saved it in my files folder with the name, so that you can see that clearly. The reason I save photo in the files folder with the name is because eventually I need to, the file name is named by, for example, my first name. So if I log in, so that I use my name, John, and take the photo with John, then two John's photo needs to be checked, identical. If they are similar, if they are not really completely dissimilar, then we can allow him to log in, right? That type of scenario is implemented here. So I will record my iPhone and attach to these recordings. Give me a sec. Hi, I'm recording this separately from my iPhone. iPhone does not take my voice in the recording. So now I enter my login name and also my password as my first name. Then shut button is on. By the way, the password, because it is text, secure text, not shown here on this ones. And then as it turned on, save button and then login. And now I show you on my album, my face is taken, and also it is saved in a files app on my iPhone device. All right, I think this is all we can do for this. Thank you.